Welcome back to Big Crone Energy. I'm Angela, and this is my third time trying to record this. The first time I was totally reading things wrong and saying things wrong, getting myself confused, was talking too fast, all that good stuff, so that one got scrapped. I just did it again, and I kept bumping my microphone. And I watched a video one time about kind of what attracts people to YouTube videos, and they said that even if the visuals aren't the best, definitely if the audio is not there, people aren't going to stick around and listen. And I don't blame them because, audio can be annoying because even sound of people's voices can turn, somebody off. Anyway, I say all that to say I have a clean, nothing really on here to make this fancy looking because I wanted to kind of dive into what I'm really learning and focusing on right now. And it's just been in the last week, so really I can't say it's been a long time, but I wanted to share a resource that I newly learned about that may be beneficial to any folks out there that watch this and maybe don't know about it, or maybe had heard about it but didn't, get just how much of a difference it can make. And that's the new True Sidereal, not sure how to say that 100%, astrology chart, which is based on 13 houses. But first I'm going to kind of deep dive quickly into my story on astrology. I thought I was a Libra based on my birth date. That's all I ever knew for years. And I would read things about Libras, and it made sense, But at the same time, I was 20. I was a teenager, 20, mid-30s, and it made sense, not because of who I am essentially based on the charts and the universe, because for me I had mental illness diagnosis that was going unmedicated and unknown. Once that all settled, which was in my mid-30s, the Libra thing, there were some aspects that were true, and I think there's all aspects of a lot of different signs that we can have, because as you can see, a chart is not just one thing, it's multiple things. But I don't know, I couldn't get into astrology because it didn't ring true to me, and I just couldn't figure out what was kind of that worm in the back of my head saying, this doesn't feel right. So the usual charts are based on 12 houses, and they're based on a time frame 2,000 years ago where the constellations were, where the planets were. That has since changed, and now with technology and understanding more of the skies, it has been discovered or known now that the sun actually is moving. I can't remember, the video was from Tarot Maps, and she was interviewing a gentleman, and I can't remember how he kind of was explaining it, and I will link the video below. It's like very minimal. Every 72 years, the sun moves somehow. I can't remember how he says it moves, but it pretty much realigns the sky every 72 years. So from 2,000 years ago, the sky is very different now, where the planets are and the constellations are placing and all that. But I just discovered this week. So that leads me back to 4 years ago, got into tarot, which led me to a little bit of astrology. And so I was curious what my ascending and my moon was. So got on astro.com, pulled this. Somebody had recommended doing a whole sign. So this is my whole sign chart based on the 12 houses. Sun is in Libra, moon is in Leo, and this doesn't say it, but my ascending is Scorpio based on this. And so it's very one-sided on this. Again, I never really could understand it. It didn't ring true to me, so I didn't really do much investigation into it. Then I joined for a couple months, a kind of like a class kind of thing, and they did some astrology stuff, but it was a wide encompassing kind of witchy group teaching thing, and it was also kind of an art community thing. And so they used the Placidus, I think that's how you say it, way of pulling charts. And it's similar. I think this might have more information on it because it's got some green. But again, most of it's over here. And this one I don't know how to read at all. Totally confused. And that led me down. So then I kind of lost my way there with tarot and spirituality. A lot of things were going on in my life, and I just didn't take the time to keep up those practices. I am now in a place where I need some connection, some spirituality. I need purpose in this trying time. So it has led me back to this. Plus, I want to be my true self before I leave this plane. So it's kind of where I'm at. I just suffer some backstory, pulled out all my tarot decks 2 months ago, rearranged them, made an altar, and I'm getting into all the stuff now. Researching different kinds of witch types or way to practice, and I'm definitely finding my way there. And you'll see that throughout my videos as I move forward, and even maybe in my March favorite or my March recap. I share some of the stuff that I did. I say all that to say that I was on YouTube, just scrolling, totally bored. On my suggestions page came a live from Miss Kulala that was going to feature her sister Rachel from Amethyst Ascension. So I watched it, and Rachel's and Carla's her name, their energies are just addictive. And so I just had this immediate connection to them. Maybe parasocial, but it was a connection nonetheless. And so I kind of have been following Rachel, did her 11 current decks, which I will link just because you should do the YouTube-y things if you want to check it out. And I've also since joined her Patreon, and she has a Ko-fi. And I was getting on her Ko-fi to get one of her digital downloads, and I saw that she does what is known as the true 13 house, true Sidereal readings. So I paid for it. It's very inexpensive. I will link that below. And not only did she do the chart, but she listed some things for me. Most of this I don't understand, but the biggest difference was, first of all, tons of information. And you know, if you knew how to read them, you would totally get this, but I don't. So this is coming from a total like inexperienced person landscape. But what was very interesting to me is all this time I thought I was a Libra, to the point where I have a Libra tattoo. The 3 stars represent my children. And yeah, I mean, it's even on my body. But this is saying, not she in particular, but this type of astrology chart is saying that my sun is 33 degrees in Virgo in the 12th house. My rising sign is 0 degrees in Libra, which explains a lot of that Libra energy I probably had. It is also on the cusp of Virgo in my 1st house, and then my moon stays Leo. So I've done some digging. I asked her for some videos and stuff. I haven't actually watched hers, just because I wanted to know what is the characteristics of a Virgo, because I was like, okay, if I'm going to buy into this, I need to know more. So I watched 3 videos. The first one totally was like, I don't get it. I'm not this way at all. It was the 10 traits one. That was a lesson in pigeonholing people, because obviously it was just very one-sided in those traits. The second one I watched was informative in the beginning. Because first of all, I'd explained that just because you are one of these things doesn't mean you're all of them, and you have to look at the whole chart and where everything aligns. So you aren't just a Virgo, you know, you aren't just a moon Leo, you know, that kind of things. It's all this combination of this chart makes you you. You may have those traits, but where you are on the chart is why you have certain traits. And you won't have all the Virgo traits or all the Libra traits or all the Leo traits. You will have some. I did not watch all of that video because sadly, like many folks some folks on YouTube, in this sphere I am learning, they start their videos off strong, and then you start to see an agenda, and this person had kind of an odd agenda. So I stopped watching that, And I found Kindle Ray, which I am familiar with because I like to watch true crime YouTube as well. And so I followed Kindle Ray for a while, but I did not realize that she had done a series on astrology, on what, like, traits and whatnot. So I watched the Virgo one, and then I proceeded to watch the Libra and Leo. The Virgo one was very enlightening because I actually do fit a lot of those traits. Like, just looking at my life, like, I am a problem solver. I would, if you can't do it perfectly, I am a perfectionist. And in fact, I've had to do quite a bit of therapy to overcome that. But I'm always self-critical of that. I will always, if it's not perfect, I don't want to deal with it. And nobody else can do anything as good as me to a certain extent. I am not to the extreme, but definitely I can easily get frustrated if something isn't done how I think it should be done. Again, I'm a social worker by trade. That's why I thought maybe Virgo wouldn't fit with me, because I'm like, really? But as a social worker, I have to solve problems. You know, I'm a problem solver. And I can very easily read if somebody is not being truthful. I mean, these were kind of the characteristics they said. So, you know, you take what resonates and you leave the rest, right? So yeah, and then when coupled in with that Libra, that you can be a little indecisive, a little like not wanting confrontation and stuff, and the fieriness of Leo definitely in there for me. I do think moving forward, I'm going to. Rachel also offers a reading on these charts, so I might invest in that. 90% sure I actually am, but I want to do some education on my own first, because I think it wouldn't be worth my value of the money, even though the money, what it cost is worth the value she's asking. But for me to really get the true value of what I am looking for, I need to come in with more than just know information. I want to build on what I already know instead of her teaching me from the ground. That's just what I am looking for. So check her out. Check out her Ko-fi. I'll put it link below along with her channel. And let me know, have you even heard? I remember hearing a blip of it, that all of a sudden there was 13 houses and people were kind of in an uproar about that. But it makes sense to me. There's science to it, so it's very fascinating. Check out the other videos I'm linking. Have you had your reading done? Did it change your placement, especially your sun? Did it align more with you? And also, any comments, questions, just, you know, anything you have to say to me about it. I would love to have a conversation. Like this video if you felt this content was useful, and of course subscribe, because I would love to see you and interact with you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.